Hey everyone, this is Holden as a Weird, and today we're going to play some maps. Or Mechanized Assault and Exploration. I'm going to continue the training missions. Sort of like the crash course kind of situation, but sort of get you guys that help on the game, help me kind of get acquainted with the game a little bit while I explain some things real quick. And I'll go over the tips at some point. I think I did maybe at one point, but that's probably a whole other video on its own. But we're going to go for mining allocation, which you can do this in probably about as fast as you can do this mission. It's funny, the video I have on this is 4 years old, but I updated it, but you can still see the original video. So let's see. So we're going to do mining allocation, mining for gold, and upgrade your tanks. And then depending on time, I might do these other ones. Actually, there's 6 posted here. Yeah, average. It's training. Remember, training mission would be like if you had God difficulty on. So this one is just really simple. Increase fuel reserve without shutting down production. Usually a lot of these tutorials, the description or the goal will tell you how to do it. So let's see if I can find it right here. It tells you about your power situation, and it tells you right here. Now click on your mining station twice, then click on the allocate button, which you can actually also hit 1 on your keyboard to do it. There's hotkeys in the game you can use. You can also do it on your number pad, but I think you would have to turn it off in unlock and turn it back on for Mac or Linux. So I think Linux can use pretty much the keyboard, but Mac, I don't know. I think pretty sure they have an unlock too. They call it something different. I haven't seen a Mac keyboard in forever, so I went now. Alright, so we're gonna do that again. So yeah, click on the My Station OK button. You don't need to click on it twice. I think, well, if you haven't selected it already, then you'd have to. Yeah, bring up the button. See that your current fuel mining matches your consumption, so nothing goes to reserve. So reduce raw material mining by 2, which allows you to increase fuel production. You should win next turn. So the game almost already tells you how to do it. I think I'll just check the elements real quick before we go on to the next one. So yeah, I don't have to double click it. I just have to single click it, because then it pops right up when you click it first. So you can just go like that, and then the buttons. So I can just also hit 1, go right in, and then 2, and then ta-da. Makes you wonder how they had all this base set up and the enemies come into. Pretty sure it's the same base setup you saw on another mission, I think. Kind of make it look cool, I guess. There we go. Ooh, 109 gold. Alright, so. Oh, yeah, by the looks of it, it pretty much does tell you. I know the other ones. So, it's mission 7. Mostly the point of allocation, not to go too deep into it, is that if you want to increase your reserves of a certain material, then you go into your mining station, any mining station in that complex, which means complex meaning those buildings are all connected to each other. Like I've explained earlier, if you had like a mining station and a power generator, like what, you know, off on like another island or something, but what's connected to your main base, that's a different complex. I'm pretty sure that's how the game defines it. But like if you want, usually early on you want more raw material, so usually I'll leave it at like 14 a turn and not have to worry about fuel reserve, because I don't need to transfer fuel anywhere. I'm not worried about my power suddenly getting shot at that time. But this is the example they gave where you want to start building up your fuel reserve. Usually you end up getting fuel reserve when you actually have you get all the raw material you want and all the gold you want, and the fuel is kind of like the last thing you have in there, because you really just need the fuel to power everything. You don't need too much in reserves unless you're worried about getting attacked. It's always nice to have it in reserve in case something does go wrong and you do need the fuel to keep it running. But you still obviously need fuel to power the power stations and the power generators, which need to be on to do it. So allocation is a small thing that can be really important when it comes to making sure you get more supply, more fuel, and gold, and things like that. because if you have two mining stations at 16 raw material and 14 raw material and 6 and 8 fuel, respectively, I guess. And because usually how the game will do it is that you can get all 30 raw material, but you won't be able to get all 14 of your fuel per turn. Or else you would never really have to worry about adjusting your mining allocation. Because I can actually go back into that scenario real quick and I'll show you what I mean. See right here you have these kind of bars that are blocking it off. See right here, you don't have any gold in your mining station, so you can't even adjust that. But right here, I take this back and I can add more raw material. And as I do it, to a certain degree, the bar will go away. It's not always like, if I had, say, like 20 fuel and I just kept dialing this back, I'd suddenly have more. But, because usually in situations that if you need more fuel, you can drop your raw material and get fuel, like this example, this training mission shows you. And other times, you can drop your fuel or your gold and get more raw material. So this bar right here is like what I said in my example with the 16 and 14 raw material. You'd be able to get, you could get all 30, but you have to reduce how much fuel and gold you're taking in. Or more realistically, you'd probably have 26 or 24 raw material a turn. And then have whatever you would have here. So it's kind of a quick thing on allocation. Alright, store gold in storage. So let's use lessons 2 and 4, or scenarios 2 and 4 to do it. Question, no, okay, do not have gold already. Also, another interesting thing is that if you have full reserves, anything extra will be lost. You won't, it won't just spill out onto the floor and then you can just go pick it up with a bulldozer later or something. It's not how it works. So if I'm not making anything, I may as well produce. Actually, hold on. Do I have a surveyor? Okay, I'm gonna zoom this out. And start searching here. Hey, look, I found gold already. That was a far walk. So let's get the connectors going, which I only really need one, and get the constructor. Lesson 3 coming in. Or is it 4? Yeah, it was no. Transfer was 5. Move forward. And let's get this gold mining station going. Let's get some units in here to protect. Gun turrets will be able to handle the rest right now. Alright, I'm actually gonna go up here. Let's build in a gun turret. Let's get some scouts. I'm just gonna have this pump out the scouts and everything to protect. See, right here. This is a situation where I could use allocation, or I can let my reserves drop. So right now, I'd fill up my reserve in 2 turns. I'm actually going to drop this a little bit, and I can either wait 50 turns, which won't have a problem, or do this where I'm not losing anything. But since it's the training mission, and I don't have to really worry about that, I can just kind of kick it to like 20 and have 25 turns before I can't power anything anymore. Actually take this. Get a gun turret right here. Let's put you right here. There. I already found the gold mining station, so you're good, I guess. turns. There we go, a couple soup. Oh, I saw it. I need to check the radar for the enemy, scout enemy range, because I see it right there. There's actually two right here on this bridge. You can put any colors on so you can see it easier. Let's get more gun turrets. Stick you into a third one. Alright, let's pull the tanks up. I won't be able to shoot back, but that'll be alright. Let's just do this range on that. That'll not really cover it, but oh, 4 of them, all left side. Alright, sentry mode. You stay over there. You built that. I'm actually gonna put you right there. I mean, I'll be able to finish this scenario before I think this radar gets built, but I'm gonna put it anyway for just protection. Because it's always nice when you can early to get a radar up, so you can see your surroundings in case people try to send scouts at you to harass your constructors or engineers. Because that's a really common tactic early game, is to try to get scouts, move around slower enemy combat units, and start trying to take down or interrupt their construction, so you can delay them, so it's easier for you to get an advantage. Alright, new tank available. Let's go here. Be able to fire until next turn. That's fine. 2 turns. Alright, now I can turn off colors. Colors is actually a nice one if you want to identify yours or enemy units in hard to see areas. Usually the game's red, green, blue, and gray teams colors are separated enough to where you shouldn't have too much of a problem telling. Although the only thing I could think of a situation where that would be problematic would be alien units. And by that I mean when an alien unit isn't captured, oh, connector. Alright, so they're over here and I can't see them. Oh. Make it harder for them to see. Let's get up there and build more turrets. Alright, so I shouldn't have probably moved my entire military over there. Preferably a bad decision. Preferably a bad decision. That was a bad decision. I'm just saying preferably. Well, time to use less than. Never mind. Pretty sure I just store gold for this, so I'm actually not gonna be able to store the gold this turn, but yeah, turn that out, I don't care. So this mission's mostly just really find a gold mining station and store gold. Nothing really special about it. Trying to make sure I have all the there we go. So I'm already surrounded on all sides. So let's actually, it blocked that part of my base off. Didn't really want to do that, but I kind of just threw it down real quick. There's actually a couple more storage units to replace that one that I got blown up in an incorrect way. Alright, so there. I think I might have enough of a defensive presence to where they're not attacking me because they're not moving anything. Alright. There's not much to explain in that mission, I guess. Just if you have a Usually you start out with a mining station in the game, so you store some of your first raw material before you pretty much almost have to throw immediately have a storage unit down, so you can store more raw material so that you can build more stuff. When it comes to things like a fuel, like a more fuel or gold, usually in most like campaign missions, depends on what you start with, but usually in pretty much most situations you will need to build your own, like, you know, get a fuel tank to store the fuel, get a gold tank to store the gold, you know, things like that. So when you start getting those newer mining stations, or you'll get to a point where you want to store those materials, then get the fuel and gold tank and, you know, storage units up so you can have more of that in reserve. Because raw material, you definitely want to make sure you have enough storage units, because raw material, you know, lets you be able to get the mining stations and everything, so you can use to store the gold, so you can, you know, store the fuel, store the gold. And now that we're getting on to upgrading a little bit, I figured I'd mention something kind of cool. Anyway, even though gold refineries do require 5 gold a turn, you don't need a gold vault to store the gold, so it can use it. As long as the mining station that's generating the gold and the refinery is there. So, you know, if you have like so if you have the refinery and your mining station's like usually like what, 10 gold in that last one, your gold refinery actually takes only 5 a turn. So you'd have 5, but you still lose the other 5. So usually if you want to store more gold for more gold refineries later, you want to definitely have that gold vault down anyway. Although if you do it, like, you know, say you have 2 gold refineries and you had 10 per turn, you wouldn't be making gold, you wouldn't be losing gold, but you still have 10 a turn going in, and you wouldn't need a vault. But usually in most cases you still want that vault. Alright. So this is upgrading your tanks. Alright. So I believe I've mentioned this before. If you want to upgrade anything, you first go to, well, you first either have your research centers just to finish researching a topic, or you use the gold refinery to apply an upgrade, which is the 2 ways you upgrade. It's actually really nice, in my opinion, the way they did it in this game. So I'm going to use the gold refinery, which is the more direct method. As I like calling it, it's really more direct. It's more specific, because with gold refineries you upgrade a specific unit or building. That's, you know, because, you know, because this upgrade's only for engineer armor right here. This one, you know, is for tank shots, and so on and so forth. So now I have this third one here, and let's actually allocate some stuff here. Definitely need that depot built, so let's get that done. I'm actually gonna speed this up a little. Usually in most cases you don't want to just, you know, throw 24 on a depot like that, but for the purposes of this tutorial I'm just gonna do it to speed it up a little. Alright, let's get some gun turrets, because last time I got, you know, slammed by tanks, so I don't want that to happen. I'm actually just gonna repeat tanks on this one. And I might need another actually take I won't do anything. I need another gold refinery if I want to be able to use all 10. But you notice there's something interesting there. I already saw it was that when I took off the gold, nothing changed. So I think usually it's raw material and fuel you'll have the biggest issue with the bar, as I like calling it. Although I don't fully know how this works, I figured I should, considering how much I play this game. But I'm just gonna use these to build up some nice gun turrets. Actually, quick question: can you build a refinery? Yes. Alright, I might do that after. I'm surprised I haven't got a power station here. You figure with 6 power generators they get a power station, because that's more efficient. they could shift the heavy vehicle plant, you know, right here the surveyor is, or just above it. But I guess that's more center, so it helps out a little bit more getting the units out to wherever, you know, in all directions. But all my power is like right on the edge. You know, there's no gun turrets down here. There's a tank, and you know, that's not exactly gonna save it. They have 2 tanks, and I'm basically screwed. Well, actually, not really. If I get the first shot, I might be able to do it, but after that, first shot won't matter too much. Alright, let's build. It's funny how the tank gets in on the gun turret. Usually defenses do it first, but this one was closer and noticed it first, so I'm assuming that's... get it. Alright, so connector. Let's build a refinery right here, actually. Alright, so I got some gold credits, so let it go for a little bit. It wants me to upgrade a tank. So, speed, I guess. Let's do some hits, actually. Yeah. And then throw some on the ammo, I guess. So now let's... Yep. Depots perform repairs and supply ammunition, but they also upgrade units. Depots are used to, as the description states, repair damage, manufacture ammunition, and refit ground units with the newest technology. All of these operations require raw materials, and so depots should be connected to store materials. And for hangars and docks, you pretty much would replace ground units with air units and sea units, and then change depot to hangars and docks respectively. So now the tank is in here. I have the option to upgrade all of them if there's more than one, or upgrade an individual one. Each, like I said, I think I pretty much mentioned. I think I've mentioned before. Upgrades do take raw material. Although in the cases of connectors and concrete blocks, they don't do it. They don't need it, but they will still upgrade. Roads and any kind of mine needs to be removed by your mine layer, or in the case of a road, you have to detonate it. You might detonate it, you might remove it, because when you remove something, there's a little button, and you have to open the glass and then push the button, and then you have to bulldoze it and then repave the road, and you'd have your 3 hit point road, which wouldn't survive anything really anyway. But so let's upgrade it. It only costs 2 reloading. For a unit, it's 1 raw material per unit to reload it. The same goes with supply trucks to other ground units that have ammo. So now I've upgraded it, I can place them in any one of these fancy squares. So I'll place them at that fancy square. So I have extra speed, hits, and ammo. You can tell when something is upgraded, usually because it won't say Mark 1, it'll say Mark 2. Although in some cases you can start a game in like custom games or hot seat games. Multiplayer I'm assuming too. Obviously multiplayer too, or else I think I don't know, custom scenarios work like that, but I'm going off track here. But usually it won't say Mark 1, it'll say like Mark 2 or Mark 3. The mark will go up each time you upgrade the unit. So even if you do a small upgrade or like a large amount of upgrades on a unit, it'll still be 1 mark. For upgrades, there is a limit to how much you can do it, although in most cases, unless you really focus your gold on it, you won't ever get to that limit. So there's a lot more because of upgrading. Usually it's what to upgrade, when to upgrade it. We'll pull your units back at that time. Might not mean a decisive win. Things like that. So like right here I could bulldoze. If I had a bulldozer I could pick that up. So that is those 3 missions. But I'm pretty sure they need to take half an hour at the most, so I could keep going on some of these. Let's see here. Oh boy, victory points. And yeah, habitats, research labs. It says research center, they call it a lab, I guess, but I'll stop it for right there at the moment. So that was those 3 training missions. Mining allocation, mining for gold, and upgrade your tanks. Still have 6 more to go, and I can divide those into the 3 per missions like I've been doing. There are 3 missions per video. So, if you guys have any feedback, let me know in the comments or messages or however you want to do it. And this has been Holding Rise a Weird, and I will see you later.